Hey everyone, welcome to this long overdue episode of Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. I'm Mike Boroff.
I'm Richard Catterjohn.
Happy Halloween, everybody. We got to mention, since we're live and we have to actually worry about stuff like that, tonight is Halloween. I'd like to play the high road and say that, we're home tonight, to bring you high quality entertainment. But the truth is, we can't even blame Corona. We're old and unpopular, and we have no parties to go to. So we're here for you people. No, I know COVID really did screw everything up this year. Rich, I know you've been getting them, like the Facebook memories.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
From last year and 2 years ago and 3 years ago and 5 years ago. And you're just like, we had that conversation. I went to the comic book store today, Alter Ego in Lima, Ohio, downtown. But I was talking to my friends there, because we're still responsible. And, we were getting sentimental about, the stuff that we've done in the past and, how much we wish we could have done it this year. And it sucks, Richard, being the responsible ones, because it was an active decision for a lot of the groups and a lot of the people I know to say no. But then at the same time, I also have friends like, oh man, I'm volunteering at the haunted house this year. Oh, we had a huge crowd. I'm like, but it is what it is. We're hoping that it gives us time to plan a lot of big stuff for next year. But at least.
There's a virtual con tomorrow.
You like that, Rich? You like the way I did that?
Yeah. Champion City Comic Con tomorrow starting at 10 a.m. Just go follow UVN's links. I'm going to co-host with AGP's Amanda Gillum. We're going to do a bunch of shows. I'm trying to pull it up because I don't have the schedule in front of me. But I know I go on at 10 o'clock with Archie Cunningham. And then I got another panel with, let's see. Dang it. I closed the wrong screen.
Sure, that screen you close out, but I guarantee I can see in your glasses reflection that you still have Pornhub up. We see where your priorities lie. Speaking of which,
yes, Archie Cunningham starting at 10:15. I'm moderating that one. Victor Danridge comes on at 11:15.
Oh man,
he's got his own writing panel, and then at 12:15 is the AGP crew. Then at 1:15 is drawing and chatting with Adam Fields. I'm moderating that one. Good friend of the show. That's the one that creates the werewolf comic.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got, I'm not sure after that. I know some of the schedule's been changed. Sean Forney's coming on at 4 o'clock, from 4:30, and then the wrap-up shows after that. So it should be a fun time, a long day. But
yeah.
It's my first time involved with a full online con, so it should be fun. Just go through UVN. The links are there, so.
Oh, that's great. So then at least that way, if somebody can't dedicate, it's not like a real, or not a real con. This is a real con.
Yes.
It's not like a physical con where you go and you walk around and, at least this way, if people have the schedule, like, well, I have to go to the grocery store, but I know that I can be home in time to watch Sean. Or if I wait a few minutes, I can catch Victor's or, Amanda's, and that's great. So you said that everything is going to be on our website, right, Rich?
Yeah, it's there right now. It's on the Facebook page, and it will be on the actual website after we're done with the show.
Oh, so it's been a couple weeks, Rich, because I had to work last weekend because I'm still essential.
And
Uh,
I had a test the week before that I didn't get done in time.
mhm. See, isn't that amazing, Richard? We found a way to virtually still do the show anytime and anywhere we absolutely want to, and life still finds a way to screw it up for us. But no, we've got a lot to catch up on because it's actually in the world of pop culture been a pretty big past few weeks. Um, the big thing, and
Yeah.
we were really disappointed in ourselves for not being able to be right there on top of it. We had other engagements, but we saw the season 2 finale of The Boys,
Oh
and
yeah.
God, man. Okay, first of all, at this point, maybe we should. Ooh, maybe we should just change the name of the podcast to Spoiler Alert. But I just realized that is probably like one of like 6 billion, spoiler alert podcasts. So never mind that. But yeah, Spoiler Alert. Man, that was a hell of a good man. That was a season finale. That was um this one of the highlights for me was, and it was so subtle that it was a blink and you miss it moment. But when I really should. We're better than this. I could have at least brought the IMDb page up to get. But the quiet Asian woman, the one that doesn't speak or make any sounds,
Oh
Amiko,
yeah. Yeah.
Amiko. See, I knew if I just gave myself a second, Amiko. But that second when she's confronting Stormfront, when she just started laughing, I was like, oh, because you knew when she started laughing, it was like, oh, that was the same sound as literally the shit hitting the fan. I was like, when she started laughing, I was like, this is gonna get good. Oh,
Yeah. Well, what happened to Stormfront was something else.
oh my god, that in typical boy style too. It wasn't just like a simple quick decapitation or a shot, man. I mean, she was all like no arm and like leg and like and the fact too that her dying words was when she slipped back into the German, when she's laying there like "Ich bin scheißen," you're like, oh, you Nazi bitch. He was like, man, I gotta admit though, I mean, I think we all knew something like that was coming, but I didn't think it was going to be that soon because she, evil or not, she's become a very popular character.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they whacked her, within a seat, bam, and it was great seeing Queen Maeve, stepping up, and because that was a great moment too, where they confront her, and I love the way she kept just dismissing Huey, like literally like the dog was talking to her, like why is he speaking to me? Why is Normie speaking to me? But to see her have that change of, that I don't say change of heart, but that little bit of morality. And man, when the girl, that was the other great thing too, was Maeve, Kimmy, and Starlight. Because what was the tagline to the movie? Girls get it done. And
Oh
you're
yeah.
watching them girls just beat the hell out of her. You're like, ooh, because I think it was Frenchie was like, yeah, girls do get it done. I was like, damn.
Yeah,
And
this whole season just took it to a whole nother level,
oh, dude, you knew when they drove that boat through the whale that it was like no holes barred.
And
And
I love it how it's going in different directions in the comic. So if you were a fan of the comic, you kind of know a little bit about what's going on, but it's
mhm.
not, you don't really know what's going on. You know.
Yeah, because it's been very established now. Like one of the main differences is the we still don't technically know Black Noir's true secret identity, but we do know for fact now that it's not like in the comic books where he was a clone of Homelander. And
Well, maybe.
well, you know, I still think that they're gonna lean towards his son
Oh
being
yeah.
being the safety, the
Oh yeah, the one that's going to be there to prevent him from doing whatever.
yeah, yeah, the ace in the sleeve, they're going to train him for that. And then
Yeah.
the other brilliant, fantastic reveal was that the Congresswoman character was in fact the one that was doing everything.
Yeah. That came out of nowhere.
It really did, because they had her. It was really neat the way they did it, because when we first meet her, well, not when we first meet her, but like when we see her in front of the crowd of people. I want to say her name, Andrea Ortiz. The senator, the congresswoman right now, AOC, that's making great brave waves in Congress right now. That they very much modeled her after uh, Cortez. You know what I
Right.
mean? To the point where Homelander even makes the joke about the viral video of her dancing, just like Cortez had, the viral video back, when she was in college of dancing. They weren't subtle about it, but to show her. And you know what? I actually I talk about it all the time, Rich. That after show,
Oh yeah.
when I went back, I had to actually go back and rewatch the show, because they nailed it dead on. Because what her power is too is she does have to have a line of sight to make the person's head explode,
Right.
which is what's really fascinating when you go back and you watch that courtroom scene. You can see her looking around the room, and then for that moment where they showed it. They did it on purpose. When they grabbed her to remove her from the room, that's when it stopped. But if you watch too, she turns around, and that's when she looks right at her aide, her second, her second right there.
Right.
That was the moment her head exploded, because she needed to turn and she needed to make that eye contact.
Yeah, and she needed to cover her tracks then,
Uh-huh. And then at the very end too, when she blows the head off the cult leader guy, she was
Oh,
outside that window, but she had.
yeah.
But then the great reveal too at the very end, where we see Huey stepping up to volunteer to work for her. I was like, oh man, that was awesome. But once again, the thing that just completely, I don't want to say stole the show, but brought new levels of uncomfortability was frickin' Homelander. You can't, for people who watch the show, there's a joke like we can't look at Milk the same way. Now the problem is like every time I see any kind of Batman brooding like on the gargoyle looking over the city, I'm not gonna not be able to see Homelander going home, if you know what I mean. I'm the greatest, sir. I'm the greatest. I'm like, wow. I still would have loved it if they would have added like a shotgun type explosion sound effect at that exact moment, when he's looking over the town. That was horrific, man.
You hear a couple windows smash in the background.
Yes. Oh my god. But yeah, the Boys 2 season, God, man, that was, and that's the great thing that's great about that show is it's not just, it doesn't just rely on the gotcha factor or the, surprise or, the pushing the envelope. It's still genuinely a really good story and the way it was told too, but
Right.
the whole manipulation of, the world found out about, like Compound V, and they think that's going to ruin, work, but they spun it and they used it to, their advantage. And I mean, there was some really good like espionage type qualities in this last season.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought they was, like I said, it's well written. It's
Yeah,
really on top of everything. So yeah, I just enjoy the whole thing,
and I am really looking forward to next season because it was officially announced that they haven't said specifically in what context, but that Jensen Ackles of Supernatural fame will be on the show portraying, what do they call it, American Boy or the American Soldier, pretty much
Uh,
their
yeah, it's
Captain
something
America
boy.
type football. Yeah, like America Boy or
Yeah.
something. But that is official. Now they haven't specified whether or not yet it's going to be modern or if they're talking too about it. It's actually going to be like a flashback where kind of like at the early stages where the Americans tried to develop, their own boys type, super soldier serum. Let's be honest with,
Right.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm
You're trying to make
but I'm
Captain
excited.
America.
Yeah, and it's a great concept too because that was one of the concepts I really loved from the comic book was that this kid is pretty much given, their equivalent to the super soldier serum. But our Captain America worked great because he was a real hero, but this kid's an idiot. In the comic book, he's a moron. He's not a bad person, but he's a bad superhero. And like what happens when a complete yutz, gets Captain America's powers? How bad does he screw up? Pretty bad.
Yeah.
Um, Real quick, won't go into a lot of it, but while we're talking about everything that we're getting caught up on, speaking of Jensen Ackles, Supernatural's back.
Right.
This is the final season. Uh, new one would have dropped last night, I think, but I've caught up to the first two episodes of this last season, and they're great. It's been really good. And I was so impressed. I was impressed that it took them this long to do it. But at one point, they were doing a montage of Sam and Dean, like literally like grabbing sandwiches, and headed out the door to, go kick monster ass. But they were playing "Cleaning Up the Town" from Ghostbusters in the background of the montage, and I'm like, how have we gone 15 years without this? It's like, this is awesome. So yeah, fans of Supernatural, we've had that to look forward to the past few weeks. It's been killing it. A lot of people were nervous. It's like the last season. It's, are they going to just completely jump the shark, or is it going to be, like phoned in? But first two episodes in, and it's been quality. And I'm looking forward. Shit, that's probably what I'm going to do when I get done here is check to see if was it like Saturday, yeah, that the new episodes dropped.
Yeah, I can't remember when it's either Thursday or Friday. I don't remember what day
Yeah,
it's on. The original broadcast. Yeah, because original broadcast is Thursday, and you can watch it on Friday because you get
okay,
the day after, right? Because you
yep,
still use the app, correct? Yeah,
yep.
yeah. So it would be available on Friday, but we have other thing on Friday. It was more important to watch though.
Mm. No, I'm not. I don't have a problem, Rich. I don't have a problem. Yeah, the Mandalorian. And I'll be honest with you, Rich. What was it? Because I worked second shift, I was up anyways. I was not going to bed Thursday night until I watched that episode. And I had to wait till like 2 because, it didn't dawn on me, we live on the East Coast, that they had to wait until the West Coast got it. So it was like, um, refresh is the wrong word because it was my TV, but I'm like, is it on yet? Nope. All right. Guess I'm watching another episode of DuckTales. All right. But the minute I put it on there and it was like season 2, episode 1, I was just like, all right, let's do this. Let's do it. Bring it on. And I got it. Again, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the show. That, there really wasn't a whole lot to be spoiled. It wasn't like there was any major, plot developments. But if you haven't watched the episode yet, there's a lot to look forward to. So, go watch it, come back.
Especially the last 20 seconds.
Oh my God. Okay. The one thing I got to mention that I was really impressed with, Rich. And I mean, as you can see, I adore this thing more than I will live and die for Baby Yoda. I was really impressed that they didn't go overboard with him.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been really easy because, from the end of season 1 to now, I mean, Baby Yoda has like, for people of our generation, Richard, you'll understand this. It hit like Bart Simpson level, craziness,
Yeah.
It hit that fever pitch, and I was really worried that they were going to overdo it. And I mean, they really didn't, Richard. It was like, look, here's the baby, part of the story. He's going to be with me. Here's the story. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They didn't overdo him. He still had the same role that he did in the first season. I still had to rewind it like 9 times though, Richard, when Mando's glove light lit up and he's like, when he pressed the little button on his thing to close it, he's like, yep, nope, I'm not doing this. He's like, shunk. Because I mean, he may be a baby, but he ain't stupid. He knows what's coming. Like, oh, Daddy's gonna go to work. Time to close the screen door. And damn, that was good.
And that dragon with the sand people and stuff.
Dude, another thing I was really happy about was as soon as that dude mentioned Tatooine, I was like, please show us Amy Sedaris again. Please show us Amy Sedaris in that horrible wig with the pit robots again. and you know what? It was Jared brought this up. I didn't even think about it. You want to talk about good storytelling. But remember the first time that we met her in the little repair robots, like Mando wasn't having it. Like you get them little bastards away from my ship.
Right.
But I mentioned to Jared, I was like, well, it was really neat that, now that he knows her and he knows the robots, she's like, get away from the ship. He's like, no, it's cool. Have him fix it. I didn't realize it. I just thought it was that he was comfortable with them. Jared made a really good point that he doesn't hate droids as much as he used to because of IG-8.
Oh, yeah.
See, I recognize you made the same face I did. When Jared said that, I'm like, okay, yep. I wish we've gotten to see a little bit more of her. I do like that she was like, no, seriously, I'll take him. You can give him to me. Like, if he buds, what did she say? If he buds or sprouts new ones, I want it. Like at that moment, she spoke for all the fans. Like, I will take him. I will take him. You can give him to me. I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm really not. It's just like, and no, go ahead, Rick.
Well, whichever.
No, I was just Timothy Oliphant.
Oh,
That one when he took the mask off, I was not prepared for that, Richard. I didn't know he was coming. I just thought it was going to be. I mean, I knew it was, the show's got a good history of doing stuff like that. But when he took that helmet off, I was like, oh my God, it's Timothy Oliphant. I was like, I love that dude. And he just, honest to God, their interaction, Mando and his interaction was priceless. Because it would have been really easy for the Marshal to be a dick about it. Because when Mando was like, give me the armor, it could have been really easy to be like, F you, I paid for it.
Right.
But the Marshal knew the Mandalorian history. And even he said, I'm surprised it took you long, this long to find me. He was just like, cool, but I need a favor first. Then you can have it. Because I thought that was gonna be the thing. But
supposedly that character was introduced in the novels I was reading. I didn't read the novels themselves. In the aftermath, those stories that take place like right after Return of the Jedi and before The Force Awakens, and that character was actually introduced because they changed the story just a little bit on how he got the armor, but they said that he got the armor. He was fighting over somebody else to get the armor from Jawas. So that storyline lines up. And then there's a story about him helping the Sand People and unifying the Sand People and the humans in that colony.
Oh, okay.
And that had to do with killing the dragon. So a lot of that has to do with it. And the thing also I was reading, well, I didn't know this because you go back to the video game, the original, the old one with the Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, yeah.
That storyline was actually done in there too, where they had to take a bantha and put the explosives. Yeah, they did that back then. So there was some story elements done from here and there too. So I don't know.
I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that character, and I really hope that we see more of that character. I thought it was awesome though. Mando's on that janky speeder bike, and here comes dude on a pod racer pod, like Big Bad Daddy, like blah, 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 blah. That was awesome. But no, the idea I loved. That was the other part of that moment I really loved, and it made 100% bit of sense. Was when they were in the bar and they were showing the news coverage, or I don't want to say fake media, but they showed the news coverage of the Death Star blowing up, and everybody's excited, but it was just at that exact moment when the Mining Guild came in, because what did he say that evil abhors a vacuum,
Yeah.
And it would make something like that would make sense that at one moment everybody, all the mobsters or criminals who were being kept in check by the Empire, it showed that the one downside of the Empire being taken away was it's like now the criminals are all like, oh, the Nazis are gone. Let's invade that small little town,
Yeah, all the Java or the Fets are coming out, or the Huts are coming out,
Yeah. Yes. And the other thing too that I really liked is I'd heard it had been done before, but for me it was the first time I'd actually physically seen the thing with the eyepiece, the thing on Boba Fett's armor.
Oh yeah,
the visor, like seeing that.
And we got
in real life, being used. That was a really neat little moment,
And actually saw the rocket go.
But yeah, everything with the crate dragon. Damn, that was cool. And what was it? What was the line they mentioned about the Sarlacc pit? Like, there's no such thing as a Sarlacc abandoning their pit, and it's like not willfully,
Yeah.
like, oh damn, something was that gave you a good scope of how big that dragon was like if it was able to take out, a Sarlacc, this thing is going to be
Right.
huge. But that was
So
Richard, that was the only beef I had with the entire episode was is they made this elaborate plan to blow up the underbelly of the dragon by luring it out with a bantha. Because the moment they did it, Richard, I hate to say, I don't want to sound like a hipster, but I called it. I'm like, why didn't they just strap a bunch of it to the bantha and feed it to it? And then it's like, but yeah,
that's how it is.
but that was really cool because one of the like real life elements was is like, look, they made a negotiation. We will help you. We will do this. The Sand People will no longer invade you this, but they get the dragon. They get the carapace. They get the,
You get the pearl.
Yes. Yeah. And they were like, cool. Because that seemed like the most realistic negotiation I've ever seen in any Star Wars TV movie. It's like, look, here's my negotiation. We'll do this, this, and this, but we get the body. Cool. Sign off on it. Let's go, bro. It wasn't just it's the right thing to do. It's like, no, we want the kidneys. We'll help you blow it up, but we get the kidneys, The other thing too is it took less than a day, Richard, for it hit the message boards. People have been really good about spoilers. But the one comment I had to make about it is Timothy Oliphant's hair had no business being that perfect every single time he took that helmet. And I went back and I rewatched it. Every time he took that helmet off, perfect. Look, I can believe the Baby Yoda. I believe in the Force. I believe in Sand People. His hair, no. No. There is no way. I think even Finn, when he took his helmet off, the Stormtrooper helmet off the first time, I think even his hair was messed up. And you're telling me Timothy, perfect. But I thought he was a great fit in the Star Wars universe, and I really do hope to see more of him in the future. I really do want to see more of that character.
It seemed to fit good, because it was really that Western attitude,
Mm-hmm. That would, Richard, if you replaced everything in this episode with something from the Wild West, a horse, a Western town, a bear, a a big giant grizzly bear, and it would have still worked 110%. It still would have worked. That was a great, like you said, that was a great Western episode.
Yeah. Well, I think Lucas always thought of Tatooine as being a Western setting. I think that's how he originally wrote all of that, because he wanted that, I don't want to say, but the spaghetti Western attitude,
Yeah.
Because even the cuts he used back in the original movie,
Oh, yeah. Because somebody, I can't remember who it was I was talking to, even mentioned, because they brought up the spaghetti Western because they were mentioning Mando being very much like the Clint Eastwood, the Man with No Name,
right?
Where when you look at Clint Eastwood, he's always got that hat on, and that hat's like real low, on his brow. And what's the Mandalorian's visor look like?
Yeah. But like I said, those last 20 seconds. Now, are we going to see more? Is is that going to be a real thing, or is that real? Because I know there's already was talk that he's playing Rex coming up.
Yeah.
So will we see, Boba Fett?
And it made you wonder, because not only being one of the clones, but to also be on Tatooine, who exactly is it we're looking at here?
Well, did he survive falling into the Sarlacc? Remember in Return of the Jedi, he went into Sarlacc, and that's the armor. So was he looking for the armor and just showed up too late?
I want to say, Richard, anybody out there watch this can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm almost 95% positive, Richard, that Luke established in canon that he did survive.
Yeah,
That
well,
he
they
did.
were talking. Yeah, because in Aftermath they had about the armor being sent out and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it was in that the whole Aftermath three-part trilogy book and stuff. So they did talk about that. But
Yeah.
did he survive or not?
Oh, right, right.
The armor survived, but did the actual, you know,
Did Boba survive?
yeah. And of course, he was originally designed not to deteriorate. Remember, because he
Right.
was going to be like his son, and he wanted him to grow up to replace him, so he could grow old, just like Rex and a couple of the other ones there had taken over their the programming or whatever, and that's why they could survive longer. Because that's why he was in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, because that guy that's part of that shock troopers, that supposedly is Rex, and that's canon. So.
Yep, that's canon. Because that's why they went back when they did the they said that when they went back to do the animated version of him, they made him look like, they gave him the white beard, the square jaw, like they purposely made him look like that guy, which was awesome.
And how much of the Clone War cartoon or animated series will fall into the Mandalorian this year? That's what I can't wait to see what's going to happen. So
well, we do know that
Ahsoka,
because I always mix her name up and the girl from Avatar, because I want to say Sokka, the guy Sokka, and it's like Osaka. No, it's Ahsoka. It's like it's when the pulp culture melds in my mind, Richard. When two names are similar enough, I meld them. But yeah, it's established that she's, they showed her in the promo, and
yeah,
and everybody's super excited too, Richard, because the introduction of her may lead to Baby Yoda, the name, being canon. Because remember, no, because remember, she personally knew Master Yoda.
Right.
So she sees this creature. What's the first dude? If you saw somebody that was a spitting image of you, like, that's Baby Mike. If you saw somebody, a baby, granted science fiction, but I mean bald, gray hair, you'd say that looks like Baby Mike. So she's gonna see this creature, and you can't tell me. You cannot tell me she's not going to make that correlation, that she's not going to say, oh my God, that looks like a baby Yoda.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
So there's 10 episodes this season?
Yeah.
9 weeks?
There's been a lot of talk, like, it's not an argument, but I like that they're going weekly. Don't get me wrong, I love binging stuff. I really do. But I have no problem waiting. You know what I mean? You watch that episode, it's nice to have something to look forward to.
Right. Yeah. It's like, what you're going to do. Because like I'm watching Star Trek Discovery on, and that started, this is the third episode. It came out this week. And I wasn't going to, but I went ahead and did. Yeah. And so now I'm going to binge the animated series. I watched the first episode.
The Lower Decks?
Yeah.
Oh man. I think Rich, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to wait and pay for it. I'm going to wait because they did it with the other seasons before too, where like Amazon would just release the season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that because I did, Rich. I really, really enjoyed. We just said it, Richard. Star Trek. Why am I wanting to say Voyager?
The Discovery.
Discovery. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one. The second season a lot more than the first season.
This is totally different this year. Because remember, they go 900 years into the future. and this happens after the burn and everything. So
Yeah.
this is different. And if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it for you, Mike, but I'm totally enjoying this, because I binged 2 episodes in a row, then I watched the 3rd one this morning. So
the only thing that I've seen so far of it was it was when Tilly and the one alien second in command. You know what I'm talking, the blue one played by Jones. You know who I'm talking about. The second in command on the ship, the blue alien guy that used to be afraid of everything.
Oh, okay.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But anyways, I saw the scene where him and Tilly are walking through this like wasteland, getting ready to meet new people. And he's telling her, she's like, well, I don't understand why you brought me because, and it was a really great, touching moment where he's like, you are one of the best people I know. And I can't think of anybody who I would want to introduce new civilizations to than you.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the look on her face and I'm having the same look on my face at the same time. We're like, oh, that was so sweet. And I love me some Tilly. I will not lie, man. I had the hugest crush on that woman. I love her character. I love her character.
Saru is his name. If I say anymore, I'm going to ruin it for this season because he's not the second in command anymore.
Well, no, I gotta feel okay because I'm doing the math in my head, and I think I know. I think I know what's coming,
and he's not blue either.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
I am. I'm.
That's why you threw me for a second. I was thinking of somebody else. That's
okay. Discovery and Picard were enough to get me to do the CBS the first time around.
Oh, okay.
But this time I'm just kind of like I really want to watch it, but I'm either gonna I not so much that I want CBS again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. It's that same discussion, Richard, we've had 100 times. Now that we're getting what we asked for years ago,
no,
now we don't want it. Like I don't want to pay for this. Like I don't want to pay for CBS. Like I'm already got this, and
yeah, it's going to be Paramount Plus pretty soon.
Yeah.
But what I like is they're giving you the option where you can actually buy stars now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's $13.99 if you add the star package to it. So it's just like HBO Max now. They're making it compatible with HBO Max. They have a free version, a entry pay level, and then the higher pay level. And that's how it's going to be. That's what's going to happen when they start becoming Paramount Plus. It's basically everything's going to happen now. Because I was pleasantly surprised when I looked, because they asked me if I wanted to get the stars added, and I go, what? And then I looked and I go, that's right, stars is Paramount. I didn't realize stars was Paramount, because I always thought Epic was Paramount. And then I found out Epic isn't even Paramount now. That's some other company. So someone was flip-flopping things around on me.
There's been a lot of
not Stars, Showtime. I'm saying
Showtime. Okay.
Showtime is Paramount.
Okay, because I wonder, because I know stars. I can get stars through. I want to say Hulu.
Yeah.
I think it is. I think it is Hulu. I could get stars through.
Yeah. But this is like Showtime. Yeah, because it was Showtime, because that's Paramount, and Epic was part of Showtime, and then that was something else. So yeah, everybody owns so many different things now, And then Disney's going bankrupt. Oh, I mean,
you watch. Here's my new prediction, Rich. They're going to reword it so it doesn't seem like what it is. But you watch in another year or two, they're going to reintroduce Cablevision. the concept of Cablevision back to the population. And by then, the newer generation who, kind of already who are starting to forget what cable TV was like, are going to be like, oh, I'm telling you, Rich, it's a sneaky son of a bitch way to do it, but they're going to do it. It's like, we heard you. We understand that you don't want to pay this for this app, this for this app, and this for this app. You know what? For $100 a month, you get all of it. And you're going to be like, oh my God.
Actually, some cable networks are starting to pick that up. I know like Comcast offers Peacock as a channel.
Really?
Yeah, because Comcast owns it.
Right.
So it's already offering it like a HBO or, whichever. And then I can't remember how else, but I just see like all these like starting to merge together. And then I think like Apple, Amazon, and Netflix is going to start buying some of these ones that's starting to falter a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like MGM right now is going, they lost $33 million with the James Bond because they did the marketing. Because remember, before COVID hit, they started the marketing for the new James Bond, right? James Bond was supposed to come out April, what was it, 5th, 6th?
Uh-huh.
Movie theaters shut down 2 weeks before.
Yep.
And they spent $33 million on marketing.
Yep.
And they tried to pitch it. It wasn't supposed to get out to the public, but someone leaked. Everything leaks nowadays. But they were trying to sell it off for $600 million, and no one would give them that much. And they would only get $40 million.
Oh man!
And they have more than 400 million. That's what it was. 400 million. They wanted 600 million for it because they need 600 million to break even.
To cover the cost. Oh man!
Because it costs 300 million just to make.
God,
that's how ridiculous these movies are now. I mean, it's just, I don't know. To me, that's just so crazy that they spend that much money on these tentpole things. And I see that if we start getting movie theaters back, that's all we're going to have in movie theaters now. These little movies won't be able to get into the theaters. Nope. I just have a bad feeling. And all these theaters are going to just go belly up, I mean, how many times we've heard AMC was going belly up, and they keep trying to get money, and they can't even get people back in the theaters. And Europe's about ready to shut down because they're shutting theaters down now.
Yep. It's it's because everybody here in the States jumped the gun where it was just like, we'll be responsible, but we're opening everything back up again. Yay. And then that's when all the movie, studios were all like, like you said, they were throwing money in, but then, a couple months later, oh yeah, we're up to 200,000 deaths now. Shut it down.
Because they released Tenet there, they got released and it underperformed bad because it just didn't have the audience. No one wants to go see it.
And New Mutants, which I heard did pretty well, but they said that it didn't do as well as it could have under normal circumstances.
Right. Yeah.
But they still saw it as a loss. It was projected to make this amount of money.
Yeah.
And they never refigured those numbers for, COVID. So when it only made like a fraction of that, they considered it a flop, but it wasn't a flop. It was just nobody was going to the theater.
And even the streaming market's starting to crumble a little bit. That new one that just launched earlier this year, that Quibi or what?
Quibi.
I watched it for the free entry. They had that promo where you could watch it for, what was it, 3 months? You could get it for free or whatever to test it, and then you had to send in what you thought of it and everything. Mm-hmm. I really didn't like it. I mean, I like smaller size entertainment, but it just didn't appeal to me for some reason.
No. And because I had friends that signed up to it because they were going to stream new episodes of Reno 911.
Right.
But like you said, they weren't like, barring commercials, they weren't half-hour episodes. They were like 10 to 15, like 15 to 20-minute episodes, and people were just like, these are internet shorts. You know what I mean? These are,
Yeah,
you
that's what
know,
it felt like, and they put a lot of money behind it because they had big name people behind some of them.
yes, they did.
Because
Especially the
didn't
Reno 911.
yeah, and didn't Aquaman have the what's his name? Jason Momoa. Didn't he have
Oh,
a
Momo. Yeah.
he had a series and
Mhm.
someone else, one of the other ones. Oh, it was what's her name? The one that played Catwoman in the last Batman.
Oh, Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, yeah, she had a series with her boyfriend's mechanical doll or whatever that could talk to her.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these were just bizarre concepts that just I know they were trying to appeal to like a millennial to a Gen Z audience. I'm a little older, but it didn't appeal to me.
It reminded me, Richard, of, and we're both old enough to remember this. It reminded me of remember back MTV Liquid Television,
Yeah, yeah,
where it was purposely, the small, quick animated, shorts, but
yeah,
some of those shorts, well, even the very early, Richard, think about the first year or so of Cartoon Network.
right.
They didn't have major shows like Cow and Chicken and Dexter's Lab. They had the majority of their shows were shorts.
Yeah, and they still do shorts now too.
Yeah. And then from those shorts, well, I remember reading and I remember hearing too that that's where Seth MacFarlane got his start, was from one of those. It was like a Cartoon Network's cartoon where it was just shorts.
Yeah,
And it seemed like Quibi was trying to do that live action,
yeah,
but it just wasn't, hey, if we make 24 10-minute quirky shows, when everything picks up, we'll take those half a dozen and make full, front runner half-hour shows, but they never got that far.
right. I think they should have teamed up with one of the other ones and made I don't know. It's just I think they didn't have they didn't have the library. That didn't help
Nope.
either.
No, no, when you're
When it switched from being free to actually paying, I dropped it.
yeah, yeah. Because it would have been like somebody would have said, like I'm already paying for cable for MTV, but you want me to pay an extra $10 a month for Liquid Television?
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow, we've gone around the
No,
everything, haven't
no
we?
kidding.
Hey,
Um,
I guys do a shout out to Frank. He was watching for a few minutes there.
I still see Frank like every single, oh, well, when I'm in the labs, like every other day at work. Um, what was it I wanted to talk about? Oh, I know what real quick. I wanted to mention you, Rich. Remember the other week, I showed you I got a new Avatar face mask from one of the elements
Oh
from
yeah,
Avatar. I picked up another one. One of these days, Richard, I'm going to collaborate everything I've gotten, like my mask and everything, because everything I've gotten so far has been from Etsy, and I really want to give these people some credit. Um, I wore the Air Nomads mask I got last no, not last weekend I had to work, but the weekend before. Richard, I have never been stopped and talked to by so many strangers. And we're talking, I'm not exaggerating, Richard. We're talking younger kids to our age that were like, is that air, is that air? And they're like, yeah. Next thing you know, 20 minutes later, I'm still talking to this person about Avatar and The Legend of Korra. Hot Topic, I was in there for 20 minutes talking to those kids that were working there. I went down to the bookstore because I bought my Baby Yoda Chia Pets. And the two dudes that were working behind that counter, I ended up talking to them for 15, 20 minutes. It was really neat. It was just one of those great little moments, Rich. Especially, I needed something like that because, like we talked about earlier, Richard, all the Facebook memories are starting to flood of the stuff that we were doing the past few years. And, it's like we haven't done anything, so I haven't had to have that kind of interaction with people. And it was really nice. Oh, speaking of shout outs and
Amanda.
Yeah. This is my costume. Can't you see the bald head? She's over here asking if we're not wearing costumes. Woman, you're lucky I'm wearing pants. And yeah, I'm wearing Baby Yoda pants. Yeah. But since she's on here, I real quick, Richard, before we go, one of the things that I had, you did too, friend of the show. Gonna say friend of the show, friend of ours, who we had.
And
on the
he's
show
watching too. Rodney's watching.
Friday. Oh, I am gonna whore you out, buddy. Oh yeah. That is not.
That's not a costume. Never mind.
Well, give me a minute, but I'm trying to make sure that the oh good, the TV's not on, so I don't have to worry about the Pornhub reflection. That's just. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry about no. It wasn't last week, but the week before. I got my Roadkill Rampage packet from the fine folks that has them, and man, I'm not Rodney. If you're watching this, you know me. I will not bullshit you. If I didn't like this book, I would be diplomatic about it and tell you I didn't like it. But I genuinely, this was good. This couldn't have come at a better time too, because this was like a Halloween. This was a great horror Halloween read, and I really enjoyed it. This definitely has the potential. Me and Richard were talking about it, like the shows you see like right now, like on Hulu and Netflix, the mini, like they call them like bite-sized horror. Oh my God, somebody get on. If you work for Netflix or Hulu or somebody, man, get on this book right here, because this would make a fantastic standalone episode / movie. I really enjoyed this. Not only did I enjoy the book, I got stuff. I got my air freshener, the bookmark. Man, I'm so torn about this bumper sticker, because God, I want to stick this on my car. I legitimately want to put this on my car so much, but I know if I stick it on my car, it's gone. It's like it. Once you put the bumper sticker on, there's no coming back from it. Let's see what else I got. I got some of the fantastic artwork. This right here is a great way to sum up Roadkill Rampage. This right here. Let's see, what else did I get? Oop, I got the script for the dialogue. It's gone. It's like once you put it the bumper sticker. What? I just heard the delay, man. Like, oh my God.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are we doing dial-up, Rich?
Yeah, that's it.
I got the shooting. I got the dialogue script, and then this beauty right here. Oh, I love this. Yes, that was very well received in my house the day that I went to check my mail, and I saw that envelope, because I knew right away before I even saw the return address or where it was from. I'm a geek. I know the size of a comic book and comic book swag when I see it, And man, I tore that open. I enjoyed it very much. Yes, you got the poster. I saw the you got the poster. No, I did. Amanda, that was awesome. That poster is dope. I would have that hung up and framed in a heartbeat. I thought that was so great. But me, I collect script. I have scripts to some of my all-time favorite movies. I have a script to Star Wars, Highlander. I have a script to Mallrats. which is really meta if you think about it. But to have this is my first comic book script, and I absolutely will cherish. I have to figure out. I don't know what to do with everything. There's so much I need to figure out how to display. But man, I loved that right there alone. This right here was, and I mean, dude, just the quality of it alone. Rich, I know you got your stuff from them. You helped back them, and I couldn't. I was so through. That's the bitch about being on second shift. Was I always check my mail right before I leave work. So I'm getting ready to leave work. I check my mail. I got that envelope, and I'm like, God. It's like, I want to open it now, or do I wait until I get home from work? I didn't wait till I got home from work. I ripped it open, and I
Yeah, I enjoyed the book. Well, I read the digital copy the week before because Rodney sent out the digital copies, so
yeah,
I had the new
got that
copy
link,
early, so it was really a good read from the beginning, and then actually get the physical copy with all the extras. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you're out there watching right now, both Richard and I fully endorse and I approve it. I'm Mike Boroff, and I approve this message. Genuinely a good book. I really did enjoy this. The writing was phenomenal. The artwork was really good. It had a very it really did. It reminded me, because I'm old enough. It really reminded me of some of the old Tales from the Crypt. Like the Pulp Generation comics, the horror comic books. It like legitimately, if you were to weather this up really bad, yellow the pages, you could aside from like the newer logo, I would have fully believed that this was a circa 70s, early 80s pulp horror comic book, because it really genuinely had that feel to it.
Yeah, Amanda liked the delivery. Hers.
I saw that. That was awesome. Yeah. And I was proud of you too, Amanda. You were very responsible. You had your mask and everything on. The way we protect our friend. So Rodney is not the Crypt. Hello, boys and ghouls. No, Rodney is not the Crypt Keeper. That's no. He writes for the Crypt Keeper, but
yeah, that's it.
The Crypt Keeper is the Crypt Keeper. I love Rodney, but there is nobody other than. Hello, children. I used to be. If I go back and I watch some of those old episodes, I could probably get the voice back. And God knows, I probably look a little bit more like him than I did the last time I was able to do his voice. Although, sadly, I think the Crypt Keeper actually probably has more hair than I do. But I enjoy that very much. And while I'm thinking about Richard, because I know we're trying to wrap it up. Speaking of comic books, something I wanted to mention. I've noticed here, Richard, at least for me, in the last couple months, especially since we're seeing the return of books to the comic book stores. Quite a few of the books, Richard, that I've been picking up and thoroughly enjoying aren't your superhero mainstream books. Again, this is why we always really recommend talking to the people that work at the comic book store. Each one of these books that I picked up was a recommendation from the guys that work at Alter Ego. One of them is called "We Only Find Them When They're Dead."
Wow.
Which was not a book that I probably would have picked up on my own. Again, no spoilers, Richard, but it way future. There's a group of people who are like scavengers, space scavengers. They keep finding the remnants of dead celestial gods. That's the best way I can put it, like Galactus. Oh, wow. And the story set way, books in account. Oh no, they don't. And it's called hentai, and it's art. But that's one of them. Firepower is another book that I'm reading that again I would not have picked up had it not been. It has a modern Iron Fist / Avatar kind of feel to it.
Huh.
Ooh, Seven Secrets is another non-superhero book that I've really been enjoying. It's really good to see that the smaller, well, I don't want to say smaller because like Boom and Image aren't exactly independent anymore. They've made their name, but it's really good to see that it's not just Marvel and DC that are getting books back on the shelves.
Right. Well, I've been really into the Kickstarter scene lately. I've been backing a couple Kickstarters. I don't have that much money, so I've been trying to keep mine with them, and I got a couple different things. I try to log in Kickstarter to read off the stuff, but I can't log in, but I have backed a bunch of stuff that way.
And the other great thing about Kickstarter, I mean, not only is your money going to help really wonderfully talented people that just haven't made that leap over to the mainstream yet, is speaking about being on a budget, man. That's the great thing about Kickstarter is you usually tend to get a lot for your money when it comes to Kickstarters. Because very rarely is it like, yeah, I gave them a little something, for the Kickstarter that you like just get the book, you give a little extra, and the next thing you know, you're just swimming in the swag, and it is really good knowing that your money is directly going towards those creators.
Yeah, because it goes right to them, and that helps them out in the long run.
Yeah, especially right now, with COVID and everything. So many of the people that we know, Richard, are still out of work right now. A lot of the, like we mentioned earlier, Frank is a phenomenal comic book creator. At the end of the day, we all still have to pay the bills, and right now it's really hard on people who kind of relied on the Comic-Con circuit for the sales and for that word of mouth. So Kickstarter is a fantastic way to help those people out.
Yeah, especially they're finding a whole new audience, that they wouldn't find just on the convention scene. This way it's all through anywhere,
And it's great too because, especially with Kickstarter and like you said, branching out and everything, there might be creators that we adore, like Rodney, that are very well known amongst the circles in the greater tri-state area. But thanks to things like the Kickstarter, I think he even mentioned it, that people on the West Coast now that are big Kickstarter fans like you are making more discoveries, about people that they wouldn't have discovered had they relied solely on going to comic book conventions.
Your voice kind of screwed up there earlier. Amanda was telling me, and I heard it too. Did you hear it on your side?
No. What are you talking about, Rick?
You sound like a robot there for a second.
I was pulling the Kermit the Frog from Disney Now, Richard, where it's just like, he's like, oh, your breath. Oh, they're static.
See,
piggies. What was that? Oh, God only knows. I was gonna try to do my C3PO, but I think I blew my voice out doing that. The Crypt Keeper. That might be why. Was it before or after I did the Crypt Keeper?
It was afterwards.
Oh, that explains it right there.
There you go.
No, once I do the Crypt Keeper voice, no. It wasn't that I sounded like a robot. I sounded like I sounded like Harvey Weinstein. Okay, I quit the smoking, but I've still got a little bit of the. Oh man! But what about you, Rich? Is there any? You mentioned you've been watching Discovery. Is there anything else? Little hidden gems that you might have stumbled
No,
across here recently?
just been doing that, and then like I said, just picked up Mandalorian because I got back on Disney for that just for right now. So, really not much going on with me. Just trying to catch up on some other stuff. I went through all that the series on Sci-Fi, the one with Kat Dennings in it. That was wild.
Oh yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rose and the Robot or whatever. Yeah.
Yes.
But other than
How,
that, no, I've been busy with school. Been a lot of this. This is different. Learning a lot of marketing techniques. It was really weird. It's really funny. One paper I turned in and do thing, then the next one I turn in, it's like perfect, and she says, "Great job." And it's like I can't figure out my professor.
yeah. It's like, look, am I really good or do I really suck? You're not not
I just
helping me
can't
here.
figure it out. It depends on what we're talking about. I mean, some of the stuff I really understand, some of the stuff I don't. But hopefully, maybe who knows? I got a couple more marketing classes to finish up, and then who knows what's going to happen.
But I'm like you, Rich. New stuff has been trickling in, but I found I've been going back and rewatching a lot of older stuff. I got hooked on, Rich, because it popped up on my Hulu. It was one of those cartoons that I hadn't watched in like a decade. But you remember Foster's Home for Imaginary Creatures?
Yeah.
It just popped up on Hulu, and I'm like, me and my sister used to talk about that show all the time because it was even when my sister's not a cartoon person, but she liked that cartoon. And I'm like, I haven't seen this forever. For anybody out there, I highly, highly, highly recommend going back and rewatching Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends because Richard, I don't know if I missed it the first time I watched it. That show is one of it's so subtly brilliant, and there are so many nerds wrote that show, Richard. There are so many. Here's an example. One of the guys that shows up like during adoption day, he's a huge nerd. He has a 42 t-shirt on. And there was like one moment, they're really subtle about it too, but like the one character, Blue, steals the bus and his little buddies with him. And they stole the bus and they're going somewhere. And they've got to get the bus like right here. And what do they say? Blue's like, almost there. And his friend, without missing a beat, like, stay on target. And I'm like, oh my God, they went full Star Wars. There's so many inside nerd geek jokes ladled throughout that entire show.
Amanda.
It helps Mikey feel like he has friends. Well, I have friends. He's real too. I don't need friends. I have Legos. What are you talking about? Look, here's a room full of every friend that has not disappointed me. I have a room full of Legos that still haven't disappointed me, and they're still here. No.
I like your camera angle tonight, especially this being Halloween. A doorway behind you.
Oh, I know. Oh, dude, wait, Richard, I need this on video in case I disappear.
Okay.
Today when I was at Alter Ego, I was talking to Alex, and we were talking about something, and he goes, "Have you ever been in the upstairs?" And I knew, there's an upstairs to that building,
right?
And I'd heard them talk about it, it was archaic and falling apart. Oh, that's a horror movie set right freaking there, dude. I'm telling you, the architecture was gorgeous, but that upstairs hasn't been touched since like the 50s or maybe like even late 40s. That is horror movie. That is nightmare fuel up there. At one point, I was taking pictures of some of the architecture, and I told I told Alex, I go, man, I might not. I probably shouldn't take pictures. He's like, why? I go, I've seen this horror movie. I'm going to show my buddy this picture of this. Like, look at this hallway, and he's going to be like, who's that kid in the background? I'm like, there's no kid in the background. And I look at the picture, and there's a kid in the background. Then, like a minute later, there's no kid in the background, and he's behind me. That's what that place looked like upstairs, and so nonchalantly too. We're walking around. And Alex opens this one door. He goes, "Yeah, if there was a demon," he goes, "if there was a demon up here, this is the room he'd be in. Let me show you this room over here." And I'm like, "Well, I got to get the flashlight out now. I want to see the demon, you know." So no, it's funny that you mentioned that, Richard, because I just took those pictures today. So if you don't hear from me again, uh, check my yeah, yeah. And now, you son of a bitch, now I can't take my eyes off back there. I can't.
I serious. What time I thought I saw something move back there.
So, Richard, you were talking about comic books, huh?
But
oh, believe me, if my house was haunted, that demon gets what it deserves, what it sees of me in my downtime. Oh no, oh, even the demon, even the devil, like, oh no, man, no, okay, I'm out, I'm gonna go hunt the church, I'm out. He's throwing holy water in his eyes. No, I can't think of anything else but that, Richard. I'm gonna be sitting here, and all of a sudden there's a hand on my shoulder, and I turn, and there's the devil. He's like, "You need Jesus." Oh, that's
anything
about
else?
all I got. That's about all I got, Rich. Mandalorian. I like that they're doing it weekly. I like that I have something to look forward to, you know, or I mean, not look forward to, but I don't have anything to look forward to. But no, it's binging it. I would be done and over with, and then you know, and think about it, Richard. It helps people like us because if that show's weekly, at least we have one thing to talk about every week. Because the boys are gone, you know,
Right.
the boys is over with, and God, I really can't think of I really can't think of anything else.
Well, Amanda wants me to say something.
Yeah, I feel
Tomorrow.
like every time I want to point, Richard, I feel like I'm really bad at the claw game.
Yeah, we already mentioned it, Amanda. We talked about it earlier, but yes, we was going to wrap up with the show. Tomorrow, Sunday, November the 1st, 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Tune in, watch me, watch Amanda. We got a bunch of panels. We got a bunch of other stuff going on. Comic book creators, Victor Danridge Jr., Adam's going to be there. We got a bunch of other people coming through, so it's going to be a great time tomorrow. Virtual Comic Con.
And I'm going to beat Amanda to it. Yeah, the reason why Mike's not going to be there is because there's no cosplay girls. Ha! I beat you. I know you were typing away and getting ready to do it. I miss you, Amanda. God, I miss everybody. I miss you, Amanda. I miss everybody. Yeah. I legitimately am. I'm gonna try. Richard, I will get a hold of you probably like through text or something. But I got so much stuff to get done tomorrow, and it's not like a con, or you know, it's not like I can. It's not a day trip, you know. It's just like I can't put off a lot of the stuff that I have to get done tomorrow. Jesus, man, slow down. No, but no, I'll get a hold of you, Richard, because I'm sure throughout the day I'm going to be home. That's the other problem too, is that I won't be home. But if I have time throughout the day when I know I'm going to be home or somewhere where I can get on there, I would love to jump on and talk to you guys. So keep an eye open for me, Richard. I might pop in.
Or you can even watch it over at AGP's own website or YouTube channel. So
What's that? What's that channel, Richard? Is it youtube.com/C/Amanda Gillen Presents?
you remember, what am I, the promoter?
Oh my God! Keep in mind that I do this show on my phone because I have a really bad computer. My eyes didn't focus properly on the word promoter real quick. I'm like, what did she put? Oh, promoter. I'm like, I don't know what she wrote at first, but I'm like, what the hell was that?
Oh, well, that's tomorrow. Tune in, everybody.
That would be great, Richard. That would be perfect for me. I'm gonna show up, Richard, but I'm gonna be in my Ant-Man suit from the waist up. Like, all right, guys, see you later. I gotta go, and I'm gonna walk away, and it's just gonna be like my Ant-Man boxers or what, you know. What? Then I'm gonna turn around and be like, "What do you mean we're still live?" Oh. Richard, aside from all the great stuff that we've got going on for Champion City tomorrow, where can the fine folks in the interwebs catch up all of our stuff?
undergroundvideonetwork.com, and we will have links to all the Champion City stuff there too. So you will be able to find it there too. But for all of our socials, just go to undergroundvideonetwork.com.
All right. So behalf on Richard and myself, Mike Boroff, and Amanda, hi, Amanda. Again, we just like to take this chance to say we hope everybody stays safe. Do what you have to, because we're looking forward to seeing what? What's up, Chris? That's my boy right there. That guy right there is what helped me survive my days at Grove. Oh man. Yeah. God damn, you people are making me nostalgic. Tonight when I cry myself asleep, it's gonna be for a whole different reason, you know. So to wrap this up, on behalf of Richard and myself, Amanda, Chris, everybody, Frank, who took a chance or took the time to watch us, stay safe. We'll see you soon. And it's time for my favorite part. Richard, give it up, buddy. Press the button.